But right now, my friend Chris Hodos, who is the head varsity girls basketball coach at Pittsford High School, and his 6-0 Wildcats join us in studio. How you guys doing?
We're good.
I guess you're good, man. You're 6-0. That's a pretty nice start.
That's a good start. Girls are working hard, as always. We just got out of the weight room about a half hour ago, so they like the weight room, I think, more than sometimes than they like the basketball court. Less running.
Yeah, it's not as much room to run in the weight room, and I'll tell you, that Pittsford weight room has produced some great results over the years in all of the different sports, and I know you take that seriously for your basketball team. Let's take a look at the start of the season for your group, 6-0 right now. What are some of the highlights through the first quarter of the season or so?
First game, we started out pretty slow against Sand Creek, but we ended up, Maddie's with us tonight, Maddie Clark. She had 30 points. Morgan Dominique's with us. She had double-figure rebounds, and JC, she ended up with 13 points and 11 assists first game. So, this is a good start to the season. The people who need to score for us are scoring. The people who need to rebound are rebounding. And I tell you, we only have 8 girls, but they play well together as a team. And, that's what it's all about, to win basketball games.
Yeah, your team works so well together. It just seems like they enjoy playing the game. And, when you watch J.C. Berger play and the facial expressions and the way that she competes out there, she's not out there to make friends or to she's the nicest kid on the planet. But when the game is going on, she's trying to win basketball games. And I see that with your whole team, just kind of that competitive edge when you're playing.
Yeah, I get that a lot around the county. One thing that I do expect from them is if there's a ball on the court, they better be on the court. And I yell court, and they know if they don't jump on the ball, they're coming out of the game. And that's one thing that a lot of people tell me around the county is, I can't believe how your girls just dive into a pile and without any reckless abandon. So that's one thing we preach is hustle, and 50-50 balls are important. And if you win the 50-50 balls, you win a lot of games.
Chris Hodos is the head coach in his third year at Pittsford, and these girls are rested. They didn't have school today. They look like they really enjoyed the day off. And, as a high school teacher, my students were all kind of complaining because we only had a 2-hour delay today down at Camden Frontier, and they're like, what's up with Pittsford? And I said, the idea that we're going to criticize anybody for taking a day, we really don't have anywhere to stand on that. The bottom line is you got to be safe and you got to go to school when it's safe to do so. But that didn't stop you from having practice.
No.
You still had practice.
We have a rule at Pittsford. We err on the side of caution. I canceled a couple practices over break that we were supposed to do. We were supposed to have a couple scrimmages, and I had to cancel those because of roads. But, if I think it's safe out, well, I give them the choice to come in. But, I like them there. We have a rule that sub-varsity can't practice, only varsity. So, we follow it. Our administration makes us follow that. So, we try to get in there when we can.
I think the rule that if you don't have school, you can't have your game or practice later is a dumb rule.
I agree with that.
Yeah, here's why. Because especially if you have a weather situation in the morning and by the afternoon it doesn't exist anymore, why are you not being able to travel at that point in time? I mean, you just got to have a little common sense. And what it sounds like is they're letting you use some smart judgment on whether, if it's bad, you're not going to have practice. But
right.
If it isn't,
go
for it.
I contact Mike Berger's our AD down there, and he's real easy to get a hold of. Now that he has a cell phone, he moved into the 20th century.
Wait. Mike has a cell phone?
I'm
very disappointed, Mike, to hear that.
He moved into the 20th century.
He won't be able to avoid me anymore when I try to get a hold of him.
Exactly. So, he's very easy to get a hold of. He tells us what we need to know about if we can practice or not.
I was concerned, and I talked to you out in the lobby, that you would never have any close games until the playoffs. Eventually, in the postseason, you'll have to face close competition and all the rest of it. But you're just sailing through the year. You're kind of blowing everybody out. But you said last night was actually a test for your team.
Yeah, we were actually down 5 last night. It's the first time we've been down in quite a long time. We couldn't make any baskets. We didn't play any defense in the first half. And I challenged the girls at halftime. One girl, Pickford girl from North Central, had 15 points at halftime. I don't think she had a basket in the second half. And they scored 10 points in the second half. So, that's when you're not shooting well, it's good to be able to fall back on your defense and your hard note. We went to a half-court trap, and they did what they needed to do to win a ball game.
Maddie Clark, we just heard Coach Hodos' version of what happened at halftime. What's your version of his halftime speech from last night?
Yeah, that's pretty similar to what he was
All right.
saying.
See, he just kept it under control. I asked you this last year, but for the people just joining us, I've been around you coaching football forever. Do you handle the girls differently than your football players, or is it really about the same?
I do. My first year, I handled them the same. And I think I said this last year. I handled them the same for about the first 10 games, and a good friend of mine said, maybe you shouldn't yell at the girls so much. And I told him, basically what I thought of his idea. And I got home that night, and then my wife, Becky, God bless her, she said, maybe you should handle this a little different. And then, it kind of hit home. So that's when we started changing. We ended up going on a 9-game run, ended up winning districts, making my first year coaching. And so I try to keep it a little different. If I want, somebody to come in and yell, like I bring Coach Berger into practice with me, and he lights him up a little bit for me. So,
yeah, I've seen you do your share of yelling before, but I've always thought that you care about your kids, and one of the ways as a coach that you show them that you care is by not accepting mediocrity. You have to have a standard, and I know you have one.
Right, we do. It's just, Morgan said it last night. Like I said about working, about just on the court. She told me last night after the game, she said, I can't wait tomorrow. We're going to lift tomorrow. We haven't been in the weight room in a week. And that's a testament to our girls. And they go in there. Sometimes I wished our football team lifted as hard as my girls do, because they don't miss a weight. They don't miss an exercise. And when they do it right.
Morgan Dominique's a senior on this team. And Morgan, you have 2 sophomore superstars on this team. They're 2 of the best players we've seen in the county in a while. And here you are, a senior on this team, making a big contribution as well. Was it tough for you at the beginning to have these young kids have such a big role on the team, or were you excited to have them part of it?
Last year it was a little bit tough. I would be more hard on myself because they were so good. And this year coaches always said, you have a role, and you have to play that role. And so I've accepted that, and I play my role.
And what is your role this year?
I rebound and just hustle to the boards. So... And if I have an open shot, I can get that.
Is it fun to win just about every game?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Because I think that would be fun, right?
Yeah.
And so if the kids are feeling like they're part of it, and you mentioned you only have 8 players, so everybody has to be involved in what you're doing. When everybody's involved and part of the winning, and you're winning, that's when it's fun, right?
Yep, and our student section is great for our games.
Let's hear about that, because obviously Pittsford's tremendous in sports. Their football program has been awesome. Boys basketball has had a lot of success as well, but here's your girls team, and really, I haven't been to one of your games yet, but people tell me you're drawing some huge crowds. What does that mean to you guys to have that kind of support?
I think it's really good. It gets us all pumped up. We get all excited. There's always a theme. They always have a theme. Last night they had a beach theme, and the night before, or the last game before that, it was Christmas sweaters. So it's a lot of fun to see all them come out and watch us.
JC, I run into your dad all the time, but I bumped into him early in the fall, and all he told me was about how hard you've been working over the summer in basketball and what you did to get ready for the season. Can you give the listeners and your fans some idea of sort of your process over the summer? What did you do to work on your game?
Yeah, I have an AAU team called Michigan Elite, and I played with them a lot over the summer. And my AAU coach, Matt Hilkins, he's a great guy, and he's always giving me one-on-one workouts, so I work out with him a lot. And then I did a lot of showcases with MGBR over the summer, and pretty much it just all comes down to I was in the gym a lot, working on things that I need to do to get better and advancing my skill set.
And can you tell us one specific thing that you think you have improved on since last year?
I think I've improved on my ball control, and I think I've gotten better shooting off the dribble this year.
Those are 2 good things. And what's the competition like? You mentioned your AAU competition, and then you come and play in the SCAA. Is it a lot easier in the SCAA than the AAU games, or how does the competition stack up?
I wouldn't say it's easier. I would just say it's different, because there are different situations in both teams. So I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's different.
When you guys are up big, how do you stay focused? If you have a 30-point lead over a team or a 40-point lead over a team, How do you stay focused? How do you guys stay in the game and not get loose with the ball or kind of make silly mistakes?
Well, I think, and I think that my team agrees, that it doesn't matter what the score is. You always have to execute, and you can't get sloppy just because you're ahead by 30. You always want to keep pushing that lead because the other team might get a run too, and you just want to keep pushing the lead.
Coach, you're going to blow a lot of people out this year. I'm not breaking any news tonight. Everybody knows that you're going to blow a lot of people out, and you're uncomfortable saying that. I can say it because I'm not the coach of the team. So do you still find a way to find coaching points even when you're winning big? Are there still individual things you can work on even in a blowout win?
We do. Every time I talk to them, I tell them we have start of the fourth quarter. If we're up, my starters start. It's the way it is because we're there to get better. Mm-hmm. It's not about our first goal this year. We set our goals as every good team does. We want to win the league first, and then district, and so on. So every time we're on the court, we want to get better, and that's what our practice jerseys say right in front. I get better every time. Well, we get better every time we're on the court. So,
Maddie, how has your game changed since last year?
I think I've just stepped up more and I'm more comfortable now because freshman year on varsity. I was kind of nervous.
You really struggled. I saw
Yeah.
you. I saw you struggle a lot putting up big time points against my Camden Frontier Redskins and all the rest of it. But not to interrupt you, but I think you're awesome as a freshman. So you want to do even better as a sophomore. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that pressure?
No, not really. I just need to step up more and make more critical decisions.
Good critical decisions and decision making and playing together as a team. The Pittsford Wildcats are 6-0, and it's a different situation this year because you guys played up a division last year in Division III in the playoffs, and you didn't make a long playoff run last year, obviously, after an incredible season. This year it's going to be a little bit different. I hate to talk about districts already because it's a long, long ways away, and you got a league championship to win. But how is it going to be different this year in the postseason? Explain to the fans how it's different to go down to Division IV.
One thing, we're not playing a team that, a school that has almost 200 kids more than we do.
Right.
A few more kids to pick from. But one thing that really scares me is we play Camden the last game of the year, and Coach Warfield does a good job with them. She'll have them ready to play. And then we turn right around and play them on Monday. We play them Thursday. We play them first game of districts on Monday. It's hard to play a team 3 times in a year, So, as far as the level of competition is pretty good. Walter, Coach Burke has a good team down there. They're going to play well. So the level of competition is the same, I think, as it was last year at the Class C level. Mm-hmm. I really do.
So it's not going to be a walk in the park.
I don't think so, and I tell these girls all the time, we can't get complacent. Last year, we won by an average of 35 points, and we beat the team that beat us. We beat them first game of the year by 18. So, it can
Got to keep getting better. Pittsford Wildcats, Chris Hodos, last thing, and I'll let you guys get out of here. I know it's freezing out there, and we already have a school announcement to pass along here in a minute. For tomorrow. It's not Pittsford. Not yet, anyway. I think my phone was ringing a minute ago. Looking forward for the rest of the SCAA season, you've got all of the big games coming up. I know Camden has a pretty solid team. Who's another team or 2 teams that you think could be tough going forward?
Well, we do have a couple good non-league games coming up. We're going to play Manchester and BD. Both teams are undefeated right now. Actually, I think Manchester lost to Napoleon. So, those are 2 good games. We're trying to schedule some good competition outside of league also. We got, like I said, we've got Camden coming up, and St. Phil, they beat Camden earlier this year up at St. Phil. The only thing is, Camden was coming off volleyball, where all their girls play volleyball. They just got out of the regional, and I'm pretty sure at St. Phil she doesn't let any of her girls play basketball. They all just play volleyball. So they were probably practicing basketball for 2 weeks, and Camden wasn't. So
I want to thank you guys for being here. I know the weather is terrible. A lot of people excited to follow your team. It's really one of the great stories in our county, and the fact that you have 2 dynamite sophomores, I think that the future is incredibly bright. But you want the now to be pretty good too, right? Right.
We're excited. Like I said, they work hard every day, and they, we changed things up today after we played kind of bad last night, so we changed things up. And I'm a baseball coach. I grew this beard. I've had a goatee since I was 20, and I grew this beard over break, and the first thing they said we got in the locker room, Coach, you got to shave your beard off for Friday. So, that'll come off, and I'll go back to the goatee. Baseball coaches do the same thing over and over.
You know what, Chris? I respect that you want to do the right thing for the team, but I think you look pretty good with the beard, I have to say.
It has to go.
Oh, it's got to go.
It's got to go. Sorry.
One of our listeners writes into the program. I'm going to put you on the spot here, but Darren Kittle, a legendary volleyball coach, he writes into the program the following question: Breslin or bust?
That's a tough one. Thanks, Darren. That'd be outstanding. We've never had a team out of Pittsford get out of regionals in basketball. We've had some state champions. These girls won a state championship in track last year, mid-cut, which was nice. Football's won. TG's been there with baseball. But basketball's never been there, never been out of regionals or out of regionals. So that'd be, something nice to get out of, at least regionals. So we're going to take one step at a time. And
one game at a time.
One game at a time.
Just like my Detroit Pistons.
That's right. Six wins in a row.
Going to work, baby. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Coach, I appreciate you doing this on the last notice, and I think I called you Sunday or Monday, and here you are. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I really do, and I'm excited for your team. Good luck, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Pittsford Wildcats joining us. We'll be back with more show right after this.